Welcome to MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next. If you're not too careful, you just might learn something. Hi there. Welcome to another episode of MacGyver's Workshop, where you never know what we're going to be working on next, and if you're not too careful, you just might learn something. So today, a friend of mine who had the Corvette that we did the radiator on recently, his daily, which is like a 2000 Toyota Camry, looks like a wheel bearing. I guess it's MacGyver's wheel bearing shop now, because this is probably, what, oh God, I don't know how many wheel bearings I've done. So, and of course it's a skateboard bearing. It can't be the easy one. But the flip side is we still have the wheel bearing or the hub bearing to do on his Corvette, which hopefully we'll get to today, and that's the easy type. So, but we'll do the hard one first, because that's the daily. That's the one he needs. So, let's get cracking. Let's bring the Vette in. Alright, so I drove that Toyota, and when we had it up on the rack, I didn't really feel anything, but he definitely has some tire noise. So I feel no free play in the bearings. I don't feel any roughness. So I suggested that they go ahead and put a set of tires on the car first. Then, if it's still got noise, then bring it back, because right now at this point, you can't hardly discern it over tire noise. So we'll take it one step at a time. So now we'll move on to the Corvette, and we'll put the front hub assembly on it. But basically, as I'm looking at his Corvette here, he also had some other stuff that he brought along with him, and I'm just like, while we're sitting here, let's just knock it out. So he's got his front emblem there that's kind of boogered up. So he's already got most of it out of there before I thought to video it. But so we'll clean all that up and put his reproduction part. Or is that repro, or is it just is it straight GM?
It's a GM part.
Oh wow, okay, so it's not a reproduction.
It's got the hologram and everything.
So there you have it. Genuine GM parts.
It's got the...
Oh yeah, there you go.
So it's official.
Yep. So he'll go ahead and put his, we'll put that on there before we pick the car up in the air and get all dirty. So basically what we did, after he peeled his old emblem off with some plastic tools so he doesn't scratch the paint any more than he has to, and then of course here's our new piece here. And we basically use a combination of bug and tar remover and Goo Gone, and just make sure we use these non-abrasive and non-scratchy tools. You're still gonna get some scratches in there, so you want to make sure that you want to make double sure that when you are trying to scrape that stuff off, that you stay within the bounds of where the emblem is as best you can, so that way you don't put any scratches outside and on the body. Now he's not terribly worried about it because the vehicle needs to be repainted, but then after you're done, you want to clean it off with a nice degreaser and wipe it and let it dry, and then we'll put use our guide pins and drop it down in there. Lots of pressure. Pressure is what activates the adhesive in this double-sided sticky tape that's on here. And really, that's all there is to it. Well, this one didn't have the little cap screws on the back, but as sticky as that sticky stuff is there, you ain't gonna have to worry about it on this car. That's it. One nice new Corvette emblem. How about that? Alrighty. So we've got the got our little hood emblem thing back on here, and we've got the car all set up on the lift, and let's go on up with it. Alright, so the first step in getting this hub and axle assembly off is to get our brakes assembly off of here. And really the easiest way to do this is you got two big 21mm bolts here and up here, and we'll just undo that and slide the caliper back, and we'll hang it, because we don't want to hang it from the brake hose, and we'll hang it from somewhere with a coat hanger. And then we're going to have to get this wire off of here for the wheel speed sensors for the ABS, and but we'll do that after I get the caliper off. Okie dokie. A nice short socket will get you in there real good, and it's always a good idea to break it loose first by hand rather than just get in there and tear it up with an impact. So now those two are loose, and what we'll do is we'll wrap it around the upper control arm. And we'll unscrew our bolts here. It's amazing how thin these rotors are on the front of these Corvettes, but with the weight of the car, they don't need to be that thick to dissipate the heat, I guess. The Corvette really doesn't weigh all that much. Now, Jerry, I'm going to hand you these two bolts here, because I'm going to hold on to this caliper and everything, and I'll have to hang it onto that coat hanger here. Alright, and of course these calipers don't hardly weigh nothing, because there's nothing to them. There. You just don't want to put tension on the brake hose or anything like that. That just makes it a problem. You have a frisbee. And you can't see it now probably because the thing's in the way, but there's a little wire right here that we're going to, little connector that we're going to undo that goes to that speed sensor. I'll get that out of the way. And then you just have 4 bolts that hold this hub on. Now you got this one little bracket that holds the wire for the speed sensor. We're going to pop that off of there, get that out of the way, and then we can unbolt this hub. Easy peasy. So basically what you got is a little tiny cheesy little stamped steel nut that goes over the threads of the bolt, and then you got the nut behind that. That's what holds that bracket in place. Alright, so now we pretty much have, what do we got? 15mm here and 15mm here. So we're really, I'll try and use an air ratchet on it. Everybody with all their battery powered tools now come breaking out with an air ratchet. Somebody's like, what is that? some troll will post on my channel, oh, I got a Harbor Freight air ratchet to do better than that. Okay, that's cool. Happy for you, bro. I'll apologize in advance if I bump the camera. It's all good in the hood, baby.
We're getting there.
Oh yeah. We're going to have to leave those bolts in there. Alright. And out she comes. There it is.
That's the whole thing.
Not much to it, is there? Alright, so when you get the bolts, to get the bolts out of the hub, you have to bring that hole around in the hub here. Let's get her up here. See, if you look at the hub, okay, bolt's too long to come out of there. So they're kind enough to provide you with this one big hole that you roll around and line up just so, and that's how you get your bolts out. And of course, that's how you put them back in too. So, piece of cake really. But you can't do it until you get the hub off the car, because in the spindle, the bolt is got to go through this much metal, and you can't bend it far enough to get it out through that hole. It's kind of weird. Then, with our nice new spindle, we'll do it the same way, and we'll bring our bolt through like so, onesie. Twosie. Threesie. Foursy. All right. Now, assembly is the reverse of disassembly, so I'm just going to set the camera off to the side here so you can watch us work. All right, let's button this Vette back up here. Get this going on, and then we want to make sure we orient the flange such that the connector's facing the same direction as it was before. And we'll there you go, get that top nut on over there so that thing doesn't fall out. And you know, like I say, there's not a lot to this. It really isn't. Yeah, crisscross. put our little bracket back on there. For our wire. And put our connector on there while we're at it. It's snug going in there because it's got a rubber weather-tight seal on there. You get a lot of road splash in here, around here, so. Start our little retainer nuts here. Now we already got our air ratchet out. We can just run it down. Caliper right back on there, easy peasy like that. And then I'm going to have him hold the rotor flush. When you got a second pair of hands, that's really nice. Makes it nice and easy. Get these started. Again, like I said, really not a whole lot to it. It's an easy job. You can do it yourself. Here, let me have the socket. I'm just going to run them down by hand and then I'll start them up. Now we break up the persuader. Now these are kind of important to see how they're related to your brakes. You don't always have to want these coming off. And you want to make sure you remember when you get the car back down on the ground, before you take it out of park and drive it anywhere, pump the brakes a couple times when that caliper come back in. So before we do that there, Gary, we're going to bring her down a little bit so we're not hoisting the tire up over our head. Now we're at the end of June and coming into July is now where it's going to get all muggy and heat and hot. Go Jerry Reiner on up there. I always get the top one in first. Let me get a bottom one in there to keep it from flipping out on you. And you're good. Now when we set this down on the ground, we'll give it a quick torque with a bar.
I got you.
So we don't want to, you don't ever want these things coming undone on you when you go down the road. Back in the day, your old Kragers and stuff that had those little adjustable washers you put in there, those things would back off and come loose all the time. We'll tighten that one by hand when we get it down on the ground. Nowadays it's not so much. You don't have to worry about them coming loose on you, but you still want to check them every now and then if you got the aluminum wheels or magnesium wheels. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and tighten that locking lug nut by hand. Never really a good idea to use an impact on a locking lug nut. There you go, insert, don't lose that. And we'll get these other fellows a little smidge. Then put our little decorative caps back on. If I had a nickel for every rookie mechanic I've seen whiz these off with an impact and they go flying across the room. Just a gentle snug by hand is all you need. These are plastic. Alright, that was one wheel bearing. Easy peasy. Now, we're going to move on to something a little different. Now we're going to do some work on the target top. Stay tuned.